Right then, team, let's get going on this beautiful spring morning. And spring is in the air. Spring must be in the air because it inspired this class today, because it was the spring equinox, the weekend just gone. So we have two of those every year. We have one in the spring and one in the winter. And it's that perfect harmony between night and day, light and dark. It's when there's an equilibrium between those two opposing forces in perfect balance. And so I was thinking about that during our yoga practice today. And I always think about that yoga should be, again, that balance, that equilibrium between doing as much as your body requires, but equally making sure that we incorporate those moments of rest and recuperation. So again, we leave the practice kind of feeling that Goldilocks, this is just right, not too zhuzhed up, not too relaxed, but that kind of lovely balance that we can continue through our day, maintaining that sense of equilibrium. Spring and autumn are seasons that balance the yin and the yang and energies, according to Chinese medicine. So again, it's that lovely harmony between the strong masculine energy of yang, which is in summer, we can feel that with the heat, and the slower, more lambient quality of the yin, the feminine, which is winter, when everything kind of slows down and pauses. So let's see if we can add a little bit of balance today. That doesn't mean necessarily we're going to do lots of one-legged poses before you all run screaming for the hills, but think about balancing your breath with your movement, incorporating those periods of rest when we need to, as opposed to moving through the flow. So if you don't want to flow today, have a little child pose. And let's start by lying down. Let's see if we can bring a little bit of balance to our life. So I need this after yesterday when I was rushing to the vets with a poorly cat, who then appeared like Lazarus to revive very quickly, thank goodness. Oh, so I need to bring some balance back into my life today. Let's bring those knees up towards the chest. Maybe you do too. Oh, hopefully you haven't had as many dramas as I did yesterday. Let's have a little rock from side to side, just soothing the lower back before we begin. Ah, that feels nice. And then go ahead and bring your feet down to the floor. Lovely. We'll keep the knees bent to begin with today in this lovely position called constructive rest. Just about sums it up. So maybe pick up your hips to create some space around the low back. Arch your back to tuck the shoulder blades down away from your ears. And go ahead, if it feels nice, to widen your feet so your knees can rest against each other. And this morning, let's place one hand on your lower belly. It doesn't matter which hand is there, and one hand on your chest. You can always slide your fingertips to the outside of your body so you can rest your elbows on the floor. Tucking your chin in so your neck is nice and long. Let's take a few moments at the beginning of our practice to arrive, to settle, to let go of the week thus far, whatever it might have brought. And let's see if we can spend the next hour not worrying too much about the events that have brought us here to our practice this morning, and nor allowing what's to come in the week ahead to distract us from our flow. Seeing if we really truly can, even if it's only for short periods at a time, to stay in the present moment. And that's all a practice that requires a little bit of skill and controlling our mind, gently drawing it back when it threatens to pull us forwards or draw us back. So let's see if we can bring a little bit of focus by beginning to focus on our breath. And let's see if we can find that balance between the inhale, that lovely upward energy that helps to energize and keep us going. There's that fire in the belly, and then balancing that with the exhale, which helps to release and relax us. So can you find a balance between the lift of both hands? So we're not just breathing into one hand. You feel a lift of the chest and a rising of the belly as you inhale, and that softening back as you exhale. Can you find a balance between the length and depth of each part of your breath? So we're not robbing ourselves of a long, deep exhale, nor are we shortening that inhalation. So finding that harmony between the breathing in and up and the breathing out and down. Already the body might begin to settle into that rhythm, the mind might begin to quieten as we just focus on that internal rhythm of our breath. Let's do just a couple more rounds like that, feeling the shoulders begin to soften, the chest begin to broaden, the hips begin to release there if we're holding on to a little bit of tension this morning. As you gently bring the arms down alongside you, turning the palms up, see if you can retain that lovely balance with your breath as you gently start to wiggle your fingers. And then add a little turn of the wrists a few times each way, getting the joints moving, some articulation into the wrists and the fingers there. Lovely. And then go ahead and place your hands down alongside you and walk your heels closer together now. So we've got our feet about hip width apart. And then just bring one knee and then the other up and towards your chest with one hand on each knee. Go ahead and adjust your lower back if you need to, so you feel nice and comfortable there. And then let's give those knees a nice squeeze down towards your chest. Maybe you feel your tailbone lift off the floor a little ways. Hands stay on the knees, but this time gently press the knees away from you so the arms begin to straighten. Maybe you feel a little arching through your back. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze those knees in towards your chest. And as you inhale, push the knees away, straightening the arms some and noticing the movement in the lower back. So continuing to do that now, giving the knees a squeeze as you exhale and inhaling to press them away. And if you want to start lifting your upper body towards your knees as you exhale, rounding up from your mat into a little ball, go ahead, but then we lower the head, lower the shoulders as we press the knees away from us. So rounding up, knees and nose coming towards each other. And then lowering the head as you press the knees away. We'll do that a couple more times. If that's creating tension around your face and shoulders to lift your upper body, then why not just keep your head and shoulders down and move your legs? So last one, giving those knees a nice loving squeeze. Let's come all the way back through the middle. Now, any low back issues today, go ahead and bring your feet back down to the floor, hip width. If that feels okay, keep those knees squeezed in as we release the arms out left to right, like the top of a letter T. Relax your heels to your bottom. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, rock the knees just over to the right, just by a little way, not all the way to the floor. And then as you inhale, come back through the middle. Exhaling over to the other side, just a little tip to the left. And then inhale back to center. Continuing now to rock from side to side, maybe starting to turn your head away from your knees there. So we're bringing that movement higher up the spine. If you want a little bit more, go ahead and lift your heels away from your bottom, bringing your knees above your hips. If that pulls on your back, then lower your heels down towards your bottom. Let's do one more over to the right and then one more over to the left. If you've lifted your heels from your bottom, check those knees stay on top of your hips and aren't drifting in towards your chest there. Let's come all the way back to the center. And if your heels are lifted, we'll lower the shins as you bring the arms all the way back down alongside you and the feet down to the floor, hip width apart. Let's come into a little shoulder bridge, so pressing into your feet. As you inhale, let's start to lift the hips up. So we're lifting on an inhale today. And as you exhale, slowly roll your way all the way down through the spine. Let's do that one more time. So as you inhale, pressing through the feet, start to pick up the hips, lifting yourself up, 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 and exhaling down. Now, if you want to start adding your arms, this time as you inhale and lift the hips, float the arms up and maybe all the way back behind you, or keep them pointing up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, roll your spine down and lower your arms. Let's do that one more time. So inhaling, hips lift, arms lift up, or maybe up and all the way back behind you. And exhaling all the way down. Lovely. So this last time, we're going to come up and hold now. So lifting your hips, reaching the arms up or up and back if that feels good. And let's see now if we can lift up onto the balls of the feet, lifting your heels, walking your toes a little closer in towards your bottom so you can lift your hips even higher. Keep everything lifted, your arms lifted back, your heels lifted as you roll your way down to the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae, through the spine. Beautiful. And then lower your heels, bring the arms down alongside you. Lovely. And then bring both knees back in towards your chest, one hand on each knee. So we're going to add on with the legs and the arms now. So let's extend both legs up towards the ceiling. And as you do so, release both arms up and all the way back behind you, reaching through the fingertips and flexing the feet. And then bring the knees back in towards your chest, drop the heels, hands come to knees. So inhale, extend, straighten the legs, open up through the arms. And exhale, hug those knees to your chest, let the heels drop to your bottom. Let's do that twice more. So beginning to open up into the backs of the legs, stretch out through the side body, creating space. Beautiful. Let's do one last time, reaching the arms back, stretching the legs up, up, up. Pause there, flex the feet, reach the arms all the way back behind you. And then slowly, slowly, bring the knees onto your chest, one hand on each knee. This time widen your knees, cross one ankle over the other. And start to circle the knees there. Nice big circles. Maybe getting into the sides of the buttocks there. And then change the cross of the ankles and take your legs round the opposite way, just massaging out through the back. Now we're going to come up to seated, so you can hold behind your knees and rock up, or just roll to one side again. Just check in with how energy feels today. Now I'm going to cross right leg in front of left leg, but if you want to stretch both legs out in front of you or prop yourself up on a cushion, feel free. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Lovely. Drop the chin down towards your chest. Drop some weight into the elbows. And then as we inhale, let's sweep the arms all the way up, lifting the chin. And as you exhale, lower the chin as you bring the arms all the way down to the floor. Lovely. Pressing the palms away. Lovely. Lifting the chin, float the arms up, take an inhale. Exhaling, hands to heart, chin to chest. This time, interlace the hands. Push the palms forwards, round the back. And start to hug your belly button towards your spine. Lovely. Push the palms up towards the sky. Take an inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Bring the arms all the way down, really pushing the palms out to the side. Lovely. Palms up, lift your chin, lift your chest. Inhaling, arms reach up. Exhaling, hands coming down to heart, chin to chest. Interlace those hands. Press the palms forwards, so you're sitting towards the back of your sit bones now. Beautiful. Let's take the arms all the way up towards the sky there. Lovely. Really stretch up through the side of the body. And then right hand down, left arm comes up and over. Let's turn that palm down overhead. Lovely. Inhale through the middle. Exhaling over to the other side. So try not to rock too much on your sit bones. Lovely. Let's do one more each way. Big wimble of the arms. You can start to tuck your chin in and look up if that feels good. Last time, all the way up and over. Beautiful. Let's take both arms up towards the sky. Big reach up. And then swim the hands behind you, softening the elbows. You can lean into your hands now, turning the fingers forwards or slightly out to the side. So start to press your hands down into the earth. Bring your chest forwards. Maybe lift your chin up. Option, if you're feeling okay in the hips and the knees, to lift your bottom up from the floor. Or squeeze the bottom at the top. Don't drop the head back. The neck won't thank us for that. Lovely. Drop the chin in. Lower your hips if they're lifted. Let's stretch both legs out in front of you. Sweep the arms up as you inhale. Soften the knees. Let's come down into a forward fold. Oh, hamstrings feel tight today, guys. So if your hamstrings feel like mine, very tight, remember that lovely option. You can bend your knees and wrap your arms around the backs of the legs and just ease yourself forwards and down. Oh, take a couple of breaths there. Beautiful. Oh, my legs feel tight. Let's walk all the way back up and then recross the legs, left in front of right this time. Lovely. Hands coming to heart. Get yourself nice and comfy. Drop the chin. Soften the elbows. And then inhaling, reaching the arms up, lifting chin. Push the palms out to the side, drop the chin down, fingertips find the floor. Lovely, inhaling up. Exhaling, hands coming down to heart, dropping the chin, interlace the hands, push the palms forwards, round the back. Lovely, and then we'll reach the arms all the way up. Again, find that lovely stretch, take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's take a twist to the right. So separate the arms. Left hand comes down in front of you, right hand snuggles behind you so you can sit up nice and tall on those sit bones. Maybe start to turn your head over that back shoulder. As you sit up nice and tall, a couple of nice deep breaths there, beginning to open up into the spine. Lovely. And then bring the head back to the middle. Now we're going to come into an eagle arm. So we're going to wrap your right arm on top of your left arm. So you might just bring your hands onto your shoulders if your shoulders feel tight today. Or go ahead and join me in that eagle arm. So wherever we are, we're going to lift the elbows, taking the fingertips up towards the ceiling if you're in that eagle. Lovely. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop your chin. Begin to drop the elbows down, down, down towards your chest, towards your belly. Now, if you're in that full eagle with me, try pressing the little finger edge of your hand down towards the floor. And if you've got your hands on your shoulders, we're just rounding the back, letting those elbows drop down towards your belly. Lovely. Wherever we are, let's lift ourselves up. And taking the hands off the shoulders or uncrossing the wrists, we're going to sweep the arms in front of the face like you're taking off a big jumper. Beautiful. And come all the way down. Fingertips find the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhaling, bringing the hands down to the heart, chin to chest. Push the palms forwards, round the back. And then reaching on up towards the ceiling. Pushing the palms up, take an inhale. Exhaling, we'll take that twist round to the left this time. So again, separate the hands, one in front, one behind. Make sure you're not leaning into that back hand, so you're sitting up nice and tall, maybe turning your head. Oh, that feels nice, ringing out through the spine. And then head moves first. We come back to the middle. So this time, left arm on top of right arm. So again, you might just bring your hands onto your shoulders or join me in that eagle arms. Not all shoulders will like this one. So wherever we are, we're going to lift the elbows up, keep the shoulders away from the ears, and then lower the elbows, a little rounding at the back. Again, if you're an eagle with me, we're pressing the little finger edge of your hand forwards and down. If you've got your hands on your shoulders, we're just dropping the elbows down, down, down. Lovely. Let's lift ourselves up. Release those hands. So again, that big sweep up like you're taking off a big jumper. Bring the hands all the way back behind you this time. Fingertips face forwards or out to the side. We press into the earth, lifting chest, lifting chin. Option to lift your hips if that feels good. Chin stays tucked in, neck stays nice and safe. Lovely. Lower yourself down, down, down. Stretch the legs out, give them a little bounce, and then we'll come round onto all fours. So go ahead and pad your knees up if you need to today. Spreading the hands nice and wide underneath your shoulders and bringing your knees directly underneath your hips there. So you've got that lovely long spine before we begin. Beautiful. Let's start to move with our breath now. So as you inhale into our cow pose, our belly dips, our tailbone lifts, chin maybe pulls forwards as we arch the back, and then exhale like an angry cat. Lovely. Maybe close the eyes here so you can really enjoy that flowing with your breath. Inhaling, pulling forwards. Exhaling, rounding on up. Again, keeping the neck nice and long, so we're not throwing the head back as we inhale. We're just gazing gently forwards. And then as you exhale, tailbone and chin tuck under. So again, we're rounding both parts of the spine, the upper and lower back. Let's do that a couple more times. So again, that balance between stretching the front of the body in cow and the back of the body in our angry cat. We'll do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's find that angry cat and pause now. So go ahead and revisit that angry cat pose. If you want to gently nudge your hips from side to side a couple of times to release your low back, maybe bringing your ear towards your shoulder, go ahead. And then coming back to the middle, let's begin to move your hips back towards your heels, coming into a child pose, but see if you can move really mindfully, keeping that rounding through your back And then when you get down there, walk your hands forwards if you're with me, coming onto tips of fingers and tips of thumbs. If you prefer to rest, just let your palms and your elbows rest on the floor. You're pressing your fingers forwards and down, get that lovely sense of space down the sides of the body into the armpits, between the ribs there. Beautiful. And we're going to start moving with our breath. So just bring your palms down to the floor. And as you inhale, come back onto all fours into that cow pose, a little arch of the back. And as you exhale, angry cat, and bring your bottom to your heels, sliding back into child pose. So inhaling, moving the body forwards into that cow pose. Exhale, body moves back, rounding back and down into that child pose. Couple more times, inhaling. Pulling the body forwards. And then gliding the body back. Lovely. Last time, inhale. And exhale. So we're going to start to add on. So knowing that you can stay here, just moving forwards and back. Well, this time as you inhale, come up into cow pose, tucking the toes under. So as you exhale, we'll lift the hips up and back into our first downward dog. Knees nice and soft. Lower the knees, come back onto all fours, take an inhale. Exhale, flatten the feet, take a child pose, hips to heels. Inhaling onto all fours, maybe with that little arching of the back. Exhaling, toes tucked, lift the hips, downward facing dog, pressing the hands forwards and down. Back onto your knees as you inhale, flattening your feet. Exhale into that child pose, lovely. Let's do that one more time. So inhaling and exhaling, joining me in downward dog if that's for you. Lovely. Back down onto all fours, take an inhale. And as you exhale, taking that child pose, we're going to start moving from our floor flow now, so option to stay in child pose, or this time rising onto all fours, take an inhale. And as you exhale, come forwards and down between your arms. Lovely. Take the arms a little wider off your mat into our little baby cobra, so hands nice and wide for some space. As you inhale, press into your hands, lift your chest, pressing into the tops of the feet, and then wave the chest down to the mat as you exhale. Twice more, so inhaling, rising on up with that inhale. And then softening back down as you exhale, lovely. And you find that balance in this last one between feeling buoyant through the upper body, grounded through the lower body. All the way down, lovely. Hands under shoulders, back onto all fours. Take an inhale. Exhaling into that child pose. Little variation of child pose. Move your bottom over to the right by an inch or so. And then take your hands to the left side of your mat. They might stay shoulder width apart, or right hand on top of left hand. Pressing the arms away from you on the diagonal. Hugging your hips back towards that right heel. Try and drop that right armpit down towards the earth as you just open up into the right side of the body now. A couple of nice deep breaths there. Lovely. And then making your way slowly back through the middle, we'll swap sides. So hands to the right this time, bottom and hips gently move over to the left. So again, go ahead and bring your left hand on top of right hand this time, dropping the armpit down. Pressing through the heel of the hand so you can again find that space and length through the side of the body there. Filling the left side of the body with that lovely deep inhale to open up some space. And then coming back through the middle, we'll start to build up our flow. So if you don't want to come into a plank today, feel free to drop down onto your knees and do that little flow that we've just done. Here we go, inhaling onto all fours. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. This time from your downward dog, roll your body forwards to plank or drop down onto your knees. And as you exhale, lower the knees, lower the chest. Let's take the hands a little wider apart now, ready for that cobra as you inhale, lifting your chest, stretching the feet away from you, and exhale to lower down. Lovely. We'll do that twice more. So shoulders gliding away from your ears as you pick up your chest. And then stretching your chest forwards and down. Beautiful, lovely. Synchronicity with our breath. Last one, inhale. And exhale, beautiful. Back onto all fours, take an inhale. Exhaling back down into that child pose. Beautiful. So again, we're going to add on this next time. So inhaling onto all fours. Exhaling, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. Now we'll pause in our downward dog now. Start to pedal out through the feet. Maybe have a little sway of the hips, a shake of the head there, just to release any unnecessary holding or tension. It can be quite a static pose, that one. And then shifting your weight into left foot. Right leg lifts as you inhale, floating it up and back, pressing rib cage back to thighs. And then as you exhale, lower the foot to the floor. Left leg lifting this time, take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. Inhaling, rolling the body forwards to plank. Exhaling, knees down, chest down. Remember, you can do that from all fours. Lovely. Just one cobra here. Inhale, picking up the chest. Nice and buoyant, and then exhale, lower down. Lovely. Back onto all fours. Take an inhale. Exhale a moment in child pose. Lovely. Adding on this next time, all fours as you inhale. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Right leg lifting, take an inhale. And as you exhale, step that right foot forwards, top of the mat. Lovely. Let's go ahead and drop the back knee down to the floor and flatten your feet. So right hand or right elbow comes onto your front knee or thigh. So if you need more space, just use your hand. So that left arm, we're going to lift all the way up as you inhale, and then reach and turn to the back of your mat as you exhale. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, bringing that left hand down. And then as you inhale, right arm opens up towards the ceiling into a twist. Inhale. Exhale, hand or elbow to knee. And again, inhaling, left arm lifts. Exhaling to open. Maybe you're looking towards the back of the mat. Reaching up as you inhale. Exhale, hand coming down. Option as you inhale, lift right arm and lift the back knee up. And then as you exhale, lower the knee, lower the hand. Last time, inhale, left arm lifts up. And then rotating to the back of the mat. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Reaching up, maybe picking up that back knee, take an inhale, lovely. This time as you exhale, lower the knee and hands frame that front foot. Flatten your back toes out, come up onto the tips of your fingers as you inhale. And as you exhale, start to move your hips towards the back of the mat. Lovely. Inhale, shift the weight forwards, bend that front knee, heart lifts. Exhale, moving hips back. Maybe this time you start to lift your toes towards your face. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And as you exhale, let's pause and hold there now. So you might have your front knee bent and foot on the floor, or slide that front heel away from you. Bring your hips back to the middle of the mat so you can really, again, balance things up there. Maybe begin to sink down over that extended leg if that feels comfortable in the hamstring. Lovely. Let's all lift the chest. We'll bend that front knee so we can bring the foot to the floor. Plant your hands, pick up the back knee. We'll step back into downward facing dog. Option to drop down onto the knees to skip this bit, or inhale to plank, little vinyasa. Exhale, lower the knees, lower the chest. All the way down, little baby cobra as you inhale, lifting the chest. And as you exhale, all the way down, beautiful. Come back onto all fours, take an inhale. Exhaling into that child pose, take a round of breath or so, again, balancing the movement with those little periods of rest there, catching our breath. Before we do the other leg, so this time we'll be leading with the left leg. So when you're ready, back onto all fours, take a nice breath in. Breathing out, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Left leg this time floats up on an inhale. And as you exhale, let's step or help that left foot forwards. Give it a hand if it doesn't get there. And lower the back knee. So this time we've got our left hand or elbow resting on that front knee or thigh. Right arm opens up as you inhale, so the chest lifts. And then you reach to the back of your mat as you exhale. Lovely. Reaching up, take an inhale. Hand coming down as you exhale. We'll keep the back knee down for this first one. Opening up into a twist as you inhale. And exhaling, hand or elbow to. And again, inhaling up. Exhaling to reach back. Beautiful. Reaching up as you inhale. And then hand coming down as you exhale. If you want to lift your back knee as you inhale and open up into that twist, go ahead and do so. And then lower the knee as you bring the hand or the elbow to your thigh. Lovely. Last time, inhale. Exhale to stretch. Lovely. Opening up through the chest, reaching up. Exhale, hand coming down. Last time, lifting the back knee as you lift the arm if you wish. And this time we'll all bring the hands down to frame the front foot, lower the back knee and flatten out your back foot. Up onto your fingertips so you can lift your chest. Let's take a nice breath in. And then breathing out, start to move the hips back, maybe keeping a softness in the knee. And then rolling forwards on an inhale, heart comes forwards, lovely. And then exhale, we start to move the hips, maybe picking up your toes. Last time, inhale. And this time we'll pause and hold. If you don't want to hold, you can keep rocking back and forth with your breath. Seeing maybe if you can, again, avoid the hips swinging over to the right, bringing them back to the middle of your mat. Lovely. Maybe sinking yourself down over that extended leg if that feels good. Beautiful. And then lifting your chest, we'll all bring that front foot to the floor. Plant the hands, tuck the toes. Let's lift back up into that downward facing dog. Last little vinyasa. You can skip it if you want. Inhale to plank. Maybe knees stay lifted this time as you lower yourself down onto your tummy. Little baby cobra. Arms can be wide if you need some more space this morning. And exhaling down. Lovely. Coming back onto all fours. Just pause as we do our last variation of child pose. Widening your knees ever so slightly. Big toes point together. And then we come back into our child pose. Stretching both arms out in front of you. Ready for a little version of thread needle. Now, if your shoulders feel tight today, just bend your elbows and just rest there in child pose. Or come up onto the tips of your fingers and thumb on your right hand and feed your left arm under your right arm. So we're resting the head just above the ear there, drawing the left shoulder away from your ear. Pressing into the underneath arm very gently to get that stretch between the shoulder blades. Maybe you can feel it in the inner thigh a little bit. A couple of nice deep breaths there, opening up some space. And then carefully swapping arms, so left arm forwards this time, so we can feed right arm underneath. So again, we pick up the chest as you feed the arm underneath, pressing into your underneath arm. We're not resting on the ear there, we're kind of resting just above your ear. Beautiful. And then we'll reach the arms back out in front of you. Come back onto all fours so we can bring the knees back underneath the hips. And from there, tuck your toes, lift on up, downward facing dog. And this time from your downward dog, we'll walk your feet towards your hands, coming to the top of the mat into a nice soft forward fold. So go ahead and bend those knees, cradle your elbows and have a little sway if that feels nice. Obviously, if you don't want to be in a forward fold today, then come up a little bit higher and bring your hands just to rest on your knees. I'm just going to move my mat back a little bit and adjust the camera so you'll be able to see me when we come to stand. So just let the head hang if you're comfortable in that forward fold. Beautiful. And then letting go of your elbows, let the arms dangle in front of you. Soften your knees as you roll your way up through the spine, slowly, slowly, slowly. Taking a nice shoulder roll at the top, releasing into your shoulders. Beautiful. So I'll just come to the top of my mat. So I'll be mirroring you. So make sure you've got some space behind you. We'll be stepping back with our right leg first. So make sure you've got some space there. So let's go ahead and bring the hands to your heart. Take a moment to feel that balance between the right foot and the left foot. The inner and the outer edge of each foot. And just notice if you've got your weight forwards in the balls of the feet. Sometimes we kind of clench the toes to do that, or maybe you're leaning your weight back into your heels. So you might need to have a little rock gently back and forth between those 2 points until you find again that lovely balance point in mountain pose. The weight evenly spread. Beautiful. Now from that lovely firm foundation, let's bend the knees, sweep the arms out and up, take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands all the way behind you onto your lower back. As you inhale, we stretch the front of the body, lifting your chin, opening up through the chest. And exhale, soften the knees, roll the hands down the backs of the legs as you come into a forward fold. Slide the hands up the front to your shins or to your thighs, lifting up halfway as you inhale. And exhale to fold all the way back down. Bend your knees, sweep the arms out and up. Big breath in, sweeping the arms up above your head. And as you exhale, drop the hands back down towards your hearts. Lovely, let's do that twice more. So deep knee bend, sweep the arms up, inhale. Exhaling, hands come all the way behind you, resting on your lower back. So we roll the shoulders back as you lift your chest, inhale. Exhale, slide the hands down the backs of the legs, coming into that forward fold. Sliding hands up to your shins or your thighs, lifting up halfway as you inhale. And exhaling, soften and fold. Rising up, so really press down through the feet evenly as you rise on up. Hands dropping down to hearts. Lovely. Last time, and then adding on. So sweep the arms up. Big breath in. Exhaling, hands come all the way behind you. Again, hands resting on your low back and lifting up through the chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. Slide the hands down the backs of the legs. Last time. Sliding hands up the front of the legs. Take an inhale. And as you exhale into that forward fold, bend your knees and step your right leg back behind you, spinning the back heel in, so we're ready for our warrior two. So when you're ready, we rise on up into that warrior two. So go ahead and adjust your front foot if you need to. And if you can see yourself in your camera, make sure you're not leaning forwards. I just caught sight of myself doing that. So bring your shoulders back above your hips. Beautiful. Taking your gaze over your front fingertips. Let's turn the palms up towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, reaching both arms up, straightening both legs, maybe looking up. And as you exhale, bend the knee, take the gaze forwards over your fingertips. Lovely. Twice more, inhaling, so you're pulling up through the belly, keeping the back nice and long. And exhale to release. Beautiful. One more time, inhale. And exhale, beautiful. Pause in that lovely warrior, turning your front palm up this time, reaching forwards as you inhale, and exhale, left arm arcs all the way up and back, and then inhaling back into your warrior, and exhaling forearm to thigh, top arm up or up and over. One movement, one breath. Inhale to reach the body all the way up and back, and exhaling, coming all the way down into that side angle, arm reaching up and over. Beautiful. One last time, inhale. All the way up and back. And exhaling. Maybe bringing that front hand down a little bit lower. Beautiful. This time as you inhale, we're going to straighten both legs and reach both arms up, turning all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat. And as you exhale, take a forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. So you're in that wide-legged forward fold. Lovely. If you're very wide apart in the legs, we're going to walk the feet in a little closer so you can drop your heels in, your toes out. And then when you're ready, as you inhale, sweep the arms out and up, straightening the legs just as we did before. So legs are straight. And as you exhale, bend the knees, draw the hands down to your heart. Lovely. Beautiful. Inhaling, taking the arms up, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus the arms, goddess. Beautiful. Inhaling up, straighten the legs, reach the arms up. Hands draw down to heart. Press those knees out to the side. Beautiful. Last time, inhaling up. Cactus the arms as you exhale, so spread the fingers nice and wide. Beautiful. Reach the arms up, turn all 10 toes forwards. And as you exhale, we're going to hinge forwards from the hips, finding that forward fold. So take a walk towards your left foot. So your hands are going to frame that left foot. We're going to take a little pivot on the back foot. Lovely. Just drop the hips. You can bring your chest forward. So our hands are framing that left foot. Option to stay there. Come straight into a forward fold or join me in a little balance. Take your hands forwards of that front foot, make a little triangle. Start to slide that right foot in towards you, and then maybe start to lift the right leg up as you lower your body towards that left leg. You can always bend your right knee If you're in that standing split with me, leg is straight, gazing towards that left knee. And then let's all bend that right knee, bring it in towards your chest so you can step both feet back down underneath you. Rise on an inhale, sweep the arms up. Ooh, throw in a little bounce. Exhaling, hands to heart. Only one, and you don't have to do it. Let me come to the other end of my mat. Beautiful. So again, finding that moment of pause before we do the other side. So again, coming back to that sense of equilibrium, balance between left and right, front and back, inner and outer edge of each foot. Here we go. Sweep the arms out and up. Take an inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands behind you onto your lower back so we can lift the chest on an inhale. And this time as you exhale and slide the hand down the backs of the legs into that forward fold, we're going to pause. Option to stay there, just holding on around the shins. Or this time, interlacing the hands behind you, maybe lifting arms up and over the top into that deeper stretch for the shoulders. Maybe you start to straighten your legs a little bit if that feels okay for the hamstrings. Lovely. If you've got your arms lifted, let's bring the hands onto the low back. We'll all bend the knees so you can bring your fingertips down to the floor and then slide or step left leg back this time. Spinning the back heel in, toes out. So we've got our right foot facing forwards into that warrior two. So go ahead and open up, take your time. Check that front knee, do those little adjustments to feel balance. Equal pressure between both feet there. Looking over your front fingertips. Both palms turn up towards the sky. So as you inhale, we pull up through both legs. So we straighten both legs. And then as you exhale, take the arms out back into your warrior. Lovely. So inhaling up. Palms might touch above your head. And then exhale, come all the way back down. Lovely. We'll do that just one more time. So inhaling, pulling up strongly, reaching for the sky. And then exhale, bring the arms down, palms facing down this time. Just your front palm, we turn up. Inhale as you reach forwards. And exhale, arc that right arm up and back. Beautiful. Slow to begin. Inhale through your warrior. And then forearm to thigh, top arm up. Or alongside your ear. One movement, one breath. Inhale to reach the body up and back. We reverse our warrior. Beautiful. Exhale. Tip-top the arms all the way down into your side angle, resting hand or elbow to thigh. Lovely. One more time. Inhale. Reaching up and back. And this time as you exhale, maybe that right hand comes down a little bit lower towards your shin or your ankle. Let's reach both arms up towards the ceiling, turning all 10 toes forwards, taking an inhale. And then exhaling down into that forward fold. Ease your way down. Soften your knees. And again, if you're very, very wide apart in the legs, if you've got longer legs, go ahead and bring the feet a little closer together so you can drop your heels in, your toes out. Are you ready to rise up? So sweep the arms up, straightening the legs as you inhale, reaching for the ceiling. That's it. Exhale, we're going to bend the knees and drop the hands down to your heart. So you're squeezing the knees out to the side. And then straighten the legs, arrow the arms up, big breath in. And now let's do that cactus. Exhaling, elbows roughly level with the shoulders. Imagine you're sliding the back down a wall. Lovely. And again, rising up, inhale. Hands pulling down to heart, squeezing the knees out to the side. Beautiful. Reaching the arms up, inhale. Last time for that cactus. Spread the fingers. Lovely. Shoulders stay on top of hips. Reaching up, turning the toes forwards. Exhaling down into that forward fold. And this time from that forward fold, take your hands forward. So you're lengthening your back. Keep your weight in your heels, but just bring your chest forwards. Shoulders over wrists, ready for a little twist. So keeping the right hand on the floor. As you inhale, let's take the left arm up towards the sky. Really bring your chest forwards there. And as you exhale, let's bring the hand back down. Other side, so a little turn of the chest. Try and keep the hips relatively still there, so we're rotating through the upper back. And all the way down. Can we do one more? So one more with the left arm lifting. And lowering down. And then one more right arm lifting up, turning the chest. And then coming all the way down. So hands stay on the floor this time. So we're going to turn ourselves over that right foot. So pivoting on the feet, hands frame that right foot. All 10 toes facing the top of the mat. Go ahead and drop your hips. You can come to a forward fold or take your hands forwards. So this time we start to slide the left foot in towards you and then maybe lift it up. Remember, you can bend your knee, bring your bottom to your heel to your bottom, even bottom to heel. That could be interesting. Or extend the leg up and back into the standing split. That could be an interesting anatomical experience, couldn't it? Oh, lovely. Let's all bend that knee so you can bring the left foot safely to the floor underneath you. Rise up on an inhale. Woo. Exhaling, hands to heart, pause. Thumbs meeting your breastbone. Take a little moment there. Beautiful. Again, finding that weight between your feet, feeling grounded. Again, balancing the movement with those little pockets of stillness there. And then from that stillness, from that sense of equilibrium, pick up your right heel, little pivot on the ball of the foot, and maybe just rest your heel on the top of the foot. Or go ahead and come up into your tree pose of choice, bringing the heel a little higher up, above or below the knee if that feels good. Pulling up and out of that standing leg. If you're wibbly wobbly today, feel free to use a piece of furniture to rest your left hand against. Lovely. And then let's take both arms forwards, palms together. And then opening the palms up, draw the thumbs back as you take the arms out to the side. You can reach the arms up above the head. And then bring the hands all the way back down to the heart. If you just want to work the arms, feel free as we do it one more time. Inhaling, take the arms forwards. Exhale, separate the hands. Pull the thumbs back as you stretch the chest. Beautiful. Arms up as you inhale. Exhaling, hands pulling down towards chest, pausing. And then point that knee forwards and bring the foot to the floor. So if it's challenging to move your arms, which it is, you can always bring the foot to the floor, just work the arms, or just stay in tree and keep the hands to the heart. So finding that moment of stillness, find your balance, find your center. And then pick up left heel and find your tree pose. Never being worried about using the floor or your big toe is a little bit of support there, or even a piece of furniture. So if you need to use some furniture with your right hand resting, feel free. Pull up and out of that standing leg. Option to stay still. Relatively still. That's a challenge in itself, hey? Or joining me, moving the arms forward so palms stay together. And then we separate the arms, palms up, thumbs draw back. Arms lift up. If you're wibbly wobbly, feel free just to move the arms or even just move the legs. And hold in tree. Lovely. If you're with me, we'll do that one more time with breath. Inhale, reach forwards. Exhale as you open up through the chest. Reaching skywards, pulling up, take an inhale. Exhaling, hands to heart. Gorgeous, guys. Woo, I'm wibbly wobbly this side. Pause. Point the knee forwards and foot to floor. I've got a dodgy ankle still and it really affects my balance on that side. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Let's bring the feet hip width apart. Lovely. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up. Inhale. Arms out to the side this time. Exhale, that big cartwheel of the arms all the way down, lifting up halfway, take an inhale. And as you exhale, take 2 steps back into your downward facing dog. Again, we'll widen our feet, a little wider than hip width. So as you drop down onto your knees, we've got our knees a little wider apart. So again, we can point big toes together. And this time, let's widen the elbows, rest one hand on top of the other, and make a little pillow for our foreheads there. You might want to just rock your hips gently from side to side just to create some space before you allow the body to settle. Chest melting down. A little bit of space between your knees there. Gentle stretch in the hips if that feels nice this morning. With the elbows nice and wide, we can really soften into the upper back. And allow the chest to melt down. Sometimes with the arms straight out in front of us, our shoulders gather up around our ears. Take a couple of grounding breaths there, forehead resting on something. Lovely. And then we'll lift the chest just so you can bring your hands down to the floor, walking them back towards your knees, pointing the knees together, and drop your bottom to one side. So again, we can swish the legs round in front of you. Pop a little bend in the knees, or a generous bend if the hamstrings feel tight today as you sweep the arms up. Let's take an inhale. And then come down over the legs as you exhale. And just allow the body to soften there, whatever position the legs are in. Again, remember that lovely option to support the back. Wrap the hands underneath your thighs there. Ease your way down. Lovely. And then we'll walk the hands back, up the legs, slowly picking up the chest. You can slide your right heel in towards you. So we'll keep the foot on the inside of the leg this time. And we'll bring your left hand or elbow just to hug that knee in. Just make sure you're sitting yourselves up nice and tall as you sweep the right arm all the way up and back, either fingertips to floor, or go ahead and just rest the hand on your lower back if that feels more comfortable this morning. And again, we start to turn the chest. Keep the toes of that extended leg up towards the ceiling. They can sometimes start to flop about there. So nice, strong leg. Lovely. And then slowly come back to center. We'll keep the knee bent, but we'll bring the hands behind you. Fingertips point forwards, or again, angled out to the side. Slide that right foot a little lower down towards your left shin. And as you press the floor away, we lift the chest. Let the chin lift a little bit if that's comfortable. Option to point your toes. You can stay there, or lift your hips up, pressing into the sole of that right foot. Not all shoulders will like that, so feel free to keep your hips on the floor. Lovely. Chin tucking in. Lowering your hips if you lifted them. Straightening both legs out, gathering the arms up, take an inhale. Exhale to fold yourself down. Again, easing the body down. Forward fold said to be, again, that kind of balance of the yin energy, so a lot slower, more introspective than those upright, strong standing poses we've been doing. And then when you're ready, lifting your head, lifting your chest, restacking the spine. This time, left foot slides in towards you, staying on the inside of that extended leg. Toes up towards the ceiling. Right hand or elbow brings the knee in. And again, the left arm draws that big circle all the way around, fingertips to floor, or again, just rest the hand on your low back. Wrap it around behind you if that's more comfortable. You've got shorter arms, sometimes you've got to kind of lean back to reach the floor. So we want the spine nice and tall. So that's why I sometimes bring my hand onto my lower back. I sometimes feel I'm leaning otherwise with my short arms. Lovely. And then we'll come back through the middle. Hands behind you. Again, I'm going to turn my fingertips out to accommodate tight shoulders. Sliding the left foot further away from you, roughly level with your right shin. And then we lift the chest, pressing into your hands. Chin might lift a little. Point the toes, option to stay there. Or again, we press into your left foot so you can lift your hips up. So you're working strongly into that left side. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly lowering yourself all the way down. Let's bend both knees now. Feet to floor. Ease your way down onto your back. And then bring one knee and then the other in towards your chest. Have that little rock from side to side. Lovely. And then just bring your left foot down to the floor. So we've still got the right knee hugged in. Hands behind the right leg. We'll extend that leg up towards the sky into a hamstring stretch. Take care to not lift your bottom off the floor there as you start to circle your ankle. Relaxing into your shoulders, softening your face. Take the ankle round in the opposite direction. And then push the heel up towards the ceiling. Find that nice stretch out through the back of the leg. Lovely. Option, if you wish, to slide the other leg out in front of you, bringing it down the mat. Lovely. All 10 toes pull towards your face. Beautiful. And then we'll bend that right knee back in towards your chest. Go ahead and straighten that left leg out in front of you if you've not done so. Left hand to your right knee. Let's just let the right arm drop down alongside you as you bring the right leg over the left leg. So you're rolling onto the outside edge of that left leg into a twist. You can always bring that right arm up and level with your shoulder, and maybe even turn your gaze over that right arm if that feels nice this morning. Lovely. Rolling onto your back, bringing that right knee back in towards your chest. And then bringing your left knee up and in, both knees hugged in. Have a little rock, have a little release. And then we'll swap sides. So right foot to the floor, knee to ceiling. And we'll take the left leg up into that hamstring stretch. And as you circle the foot, just take care you've not tensed your upper body. Sometimes as we start to focus on the lower body, we forget what's going on up there. Circling a few directions each, few circles each way, each direction. And then we'll pause, pushing the heel up, dropping some weight into the back of the pelvis. Feel free to slide the other leg out in front of you now if that feels okay for your low back and your hamstring. Really anchoring down through that right heel now. Lovely. Then we'll bring the left knee back in towards your chest. Straighten out that right leg if you've not done so. Right hand on your knee. Let's roll onto the outside edge of your right leg this time. Left arm can just be alongside you, or again, a little bit more active, level with your shoulder. Taking your gaze in the opposite direction to your knee. Bringing out the back. And then slowly rolling onto your back. And this time, let's stretch both legs out in front of you. Float both arms all the way back behind you and take a moment in that lovely full body stretch. Maybe having a stretch into one side and then the other, creating some space this morning. And then slowly lowering your arms down alongside you so you can bring one hand again to rest on your chest, one hand on your belly. Maybe just separate your feet hip width. Take a roll across your heels, allowing the toes to roll in and out a few times. And then let the toes just roll apart there. If it's uncomfortable on your low back, rebend your knees, coming back to that constructive rest we did at the beginning. Knees bent, with your feet wide apart and your inner knees just propped against each other. Closing the eyes and take a moment now to again get that sense of balance between your breath. If you choose to come up to seated, one hand on chest, one hand on belly. Let the elbows drop down. Softening your chin to your chest. Closing your eyes and again just focusing on that balance of inhale and exhale. So after the movement, a moment of stillness there for the body to almost absorb the effects of a practice. Again, if the mind starts to pull you forwards or drag you back, gently drawing your focus, your attention back to your breath. Inhale, receiving the breath, breathing in and up, and exhaling, releasing all the way out and down. Lovely. Just letting your hands drop down by the side of the body now. A wiggle of the fingers or a little circle of the wrists, maybe a little roll across the back of your head or a rock from side to side if you're seated. And if you're lying down for Shavasana, maybe float the arms back above your head, coming back to that full body stretch, straightening the legs if they're bent. If you're seated, just reach the arms up towards the sky. Take a nice stretch. If you're seated, just bring your hands to your knees. If you're lying down, bring your knees slowly back in towards your chest, one at a time. Maybe have a little rock side to side, back and forth. And then just rolling onto one side. And take your time to join me in a comfortable seated position. Lovely. Let's bring the hands together at the heart. Dropping your chin to your chest, let your elbows drop down towards the side of the waist there, but lift your breastbone to meet your thumbs. I'll leave you with this lovely quote about spring, and I think it'll make you laugh, certainly for an English spring. In the spring, I have counted 136 different kinds of weather inside of 4 and 20 hours. So true, isn't it? So let's make the most of our beautiful sunshine while it lasts. Dropping your chin down. And namaste. A thank you to each other for sharing a beautiful spring practice together. And namaste. Thank you, thank you. Oh, yes. I think it's true about the weather, isn't it? You just never know what you're going to get in spring. Always carry a brolly and a jumper.